All right, this is the grand finale, and this is what we've been working so hard for. Some of the ones that we're going to be getting are going to be quite large, and the only way to get it factored is by grouping. So we're going to start on page 391, and we're going to look at the second column starting at number 50. So I'm copying down what we have for number 50 so I can show you the difference in these questions and how you would go about solving them. If you notice, number 50 has 4 terms. And when you factor by grouping, you would factor by grouping with 4 terms. The good news is they're pretty easy to do if you're good at GCF. Your first step is to draw a line by breaking this thing in half. So after the second term and before the sign of the third term, you're going to draw a little line. That separates the left side from the right side of your polynomial. Then what you're going to do is what we've always done. We're going to start by finding the GCF. So the GCF for 6 and 3 is 3. I hope you recognize that 3 goes into 6 and that GCF would definitely be 3. We're also going to take a look at the variables just on the left side. And we have z to the third and z squared, and we always pick the smaller exponent. So on the left side, our GCF is 3z squared. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our GCF and divide it into this to find what's on the inside of the parentheses. So, like we did previously, we're going to do 6z to the third plus 3z squared, and we're going to divide it by that GCF. And when we divide, don't forget, let me make this a little longer, that we divide the numbers. So that's going to give us, let me write this down, 2, and subtract the exponents. So that would be z. And then this one, we're going to divide, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, and subtract the exponents, and you get 0, so these cancel. So our final answer for the left side of this line, get ready for it, is 3z squared, that's the GCF, that goes on the outside, and 2z plus 1 on the inside. Now, we're going to go to the right side. Do you see any GCFs here? No. But what I do notice is that I have a 2z plus 1. That matches that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk this guy down right here. I need it to match, so I'm going to put 2z plus 1 in parentheses. And I'm going to factor out a 1, because 1 times this is this, and that will give me my groups that I need. Okay, so if you see that it matches, you're going to put it in parentheses to make the group, and then put a 1 on the outside. Now we're at the factor by grouping step. This is so exciting. After you get to your factor by grouping step, you are going to see what groups they have identical. And then you're going to rewrite your other ones as your second factor. And this is your final answer. We're going to go ahead and take a look at number 53. 53 says 8x to the third minus 12x squared plus 6x minus 9. Now, the first thing we're going to do is split this guy down the middle. We're going to GCF the left. Now, factors of 8, because 8's smaller, factors of 8 are 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. 12 doesn't divide by 8, so 8's not it. But 12 divides by 4, so 4 is it. The smaller exponent is x squared. Then we divide. we're going to take our 8x to the third minus 12x squared. We're going to divide them both by that GCF. That's going to give us what's on the inside. So when we divide, 8 divided by 4 is 2, and subtract the exponents, you get x to the first. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so that's a minus 3, and 2 minus 2 cancel. So this one starts with 4x squared, and in the parentheses, 2x minus 3. Now we have to GCF the right side. So we look at a smaller one is 6. So our factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. 9 doesn't divide by 6, so that's not it. 9 divides by 3, so 3 is my GCF. They both don't have an x, so I can't even take an x out. So my GCF is just 3. So I'm at my divide step. I'm going to take my 6x minus 9, and I'm going to divide both of these by my GCF of 3. When I divide, 6x divided by 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2, bring the x down, and negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. And when I go to write this, I'm going to have a 3 and a 2x minus 3. We're finally at the factor by grouping step. Do you notice that both groups are identical? Because that's what has to happen. For it to be a factor by grouping question, the groups have to be identical. So we're going to write that first. 2x minus 3 goes first. And then these terms in order. Now, 4x squared is here, and this is a positive 3, so I have to remember to put a plus sign. And this is my final answer. All right. I think maybe we'll do one more. One more. So I'm going to skip down, and I'm going to look at number 62. I'm going to go on the side here also, so there's no space. 62 is 20g to the third minus 4g squared minus 25g plus 5. And we are going to start by splitting it in half. So after the second term, you're going to make a line. We're going to GCF the left. The smaller one is 4. Does 4 divide into 20? Yes. So 4 is our GCF. And our smaller exponent is g squared. We're going to divide 20g to the third minus 4g squared are both going to be divided by my GCF. Don't forget that in your division step, you divide the numbers. So 20 divided by 4 is 5, and subtract the exponents. This is 3 minus 2, which is 1. Then we have a minus sign. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and the 2 minus 2 cancel. This is just a 1. So on the left side, I've got 4g squared, parentheses, 5g minus 1. So that's all on the left side. On the right side, I'm looking at my GCF. The smaller number is 5. Does 25 divide by 5? Yes. So my GCF is 5. And when I divide, by 5, I get negative 5g plus 1. So this one is going to have a 5 and a negative 5g plus 1. Now remember I told you that our groups have to be identical. Look here. 2z plus 1s, 2x minus 3s. These are not identical. They're close, but they're signed opposites. That means that this is a positive 5g and this is a negative 5g, and this is a negative one. This needs to be a positive one. So they're not exactly identical. So what we have to do is we've got to modify this one a little bit. It's very easy to modify. If you see that you've got signed opposites, what you're going to do is you're going to take this one and you're also going to turn this positive 5 to a negative 5. And what that will do is that'll make this a positive 5g and this a negative 1. So basically you change all the signs. So the 5 turns negative, that 5g turns positive, and that positive 1 turns negative. And then they match. And then they match. So you're allowed to do that as long as you change all of the signs on one side. Okay? So now that they match, my final answer is going to be 5g minus 1, because that's how they match. And then the GCF factors are going to be 4g squared minus 5. And this is my final answer. All right, guys, I hope this has been enough for you. The repetitiveness hopefully is paying off with the dividing and subtracting the exponents to get this piece. Remember, GCF goes on the outside. Whatever you divide goes back on the inside. And then you find what's in common. You put that first. If it's not in common and they're sign opposites, you've got to change the signs of the second one all the way through. And then they'll match. Contact me with questions, and you're ready to do your assignment. Good luck.